Let's do it. What is this? Ariana and Cynthia creeped out Hollywood. Holy moly. Look at those foreheads.
With all that's going on globally right now, if this story doesn't at least make you giggle, I don't know what will.
Oh, yippee! Dystopian.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell.
Hi!
For those of you in the United States, and specifically in the areas that are currently suffering through this winter storm, I hope all of you are staying safe and warm and lovely. I have had to live through a burst pipe, which basically flooded my kitchen.
Oh my
actually,
god,
yesterday.
that sucks.
So, it's been a bit of a weird
in the middle
time
of
over
winter
here.
too.
I have been thinking all day, is it better to not have electricity or to not have water? And I think that
I can tell you from having both of them both of them having not. From not having either of them or intermittently one or the other, I can tell you water's probably worse. You can't take a shower, you can't like wash something off of your hands, you have to use like either like some fucking drinking water, I guess, or put in a bottle. I don't know, I think having no water is way worse. Yeah, you can't use the toilet. Awful.
Sucks. So I would not have survived on the Oregon Trail. So learn from my mistakes, children. Do not flood your house. It's not fun. It is not enjoyable having a wet home interior. I don't recommend it.
I can imagine.
So on two fronts, number one, I'm sorry if there's a ton of weird noise in the background. I probably am going to try to edit it out as much as I can, but I have those giant like industrial fans in my kitchen and also in another room that got absolutely smashed by the water.
Oh,
and on the second front, if you want to support
dude.
me in this time of need, consider buying a box of my tea. I make tea. That's part of my thing. I will link my tea brand Lionsgate Exchange in the description box. Of course, no pressure. I'm mostly joking here. But if you do like tea, absolutely grab a box. Now would be the time because it's going straight into renovating what will inevitably just be mold.
I bought my mom that for Christmas and she really liked it.
If this is what you Midwesterners and northern dwellers have to deal with all the time, I get why you guys are cranky and why you borderline insult people a lot. This is just atrocious. Anyway, I have such a fun follow-up story for all of you concerning our two friends, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And normally I really wouldn't cover a story like this, but I legitimately laughed when I read it, and I thought that you guys would laugh too. And everyone can use a laugh right now. And if you don't know who these two people are, my darling baby bird, consider yourself lucky because you have been spared some immeasurable secondhand embarrassment, but not for much longer. Sorry about that. But for the rest of you poor unfortunate souls, as you likely know, both women starred in the Wicked films, which came out in 2024 and 2025.
Yep.
These movies were adapted from the stage production, Wicked, which I actually saw many years ago and really enjoyed. I thought it was pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. The films though, not for me, not so much. There's like a weird vibe that comes through the screen and it gives me icky vibes. And I know that probably sounds quite weird and a little bit esoteric, but I know
with how the actresses were acting with each other, it was probably some really weird vibes of how much they love each other. They could not stop holding each other's hands and shit.
Not the only one who feels that way. Now, the pair initially started going viral in 2024 for their absolutely bizarre behavior during press interviews.
Oh, they're crying!
They cried non-stop, they clung to each other, and
the helicopter one takes me out. There's a helicopter going overhead. She can't show it because it's probably copyrighted. A helicopter goes overhead and Ariana's like, shoo, go away, helicopter, because she's like crying and shit. Oh my god, it's actually insane.
Interaction seemed to have resulted in a series of weird, uncomfortable moments that all of us had to suffer through. Visually.
You have been the light of the day. You are such a gift.
Stop! You're overstimulating me!
Such light into the room. Thank you very much.
This one is my personal favorite because who doesn't love a good finger hold? Every time I talk about these people, guys, I'm gonna show you this video or clip or picture because I find it hilarious.
And the craziest thing was, I remember in the moment asking myself, am I okay?
did I not hear something? And I was like, because she looks like she's about to cry again, and I'm gonna grab this because I think you might need something.
Well, they repeated this exact behavior once again in late 2025 when the second installment of Wicked, called Wicked for Good, hit cinemas and the pair went on another press circuit. This time, they did more crying, and clinging, and Erivo in particular was viewed as extremely weird and overprotective of Grande. They said a bunch more weird crap in interviews and acted like they were high in the sky with diamonds, as the song goes. People were also pointing out that these two women look obscenely skinny, which was a criticism that they faced in 2024, but like...
They look completely normal here. Completely normal. Here you can see the ribs that go up to the clavicle. And her muscles look almost atrophied.
So much of it in 2025, and there were just so many questions swirling around about the type of behavior that was taking place on set and why everybody looks skeletal. Like, why are Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum also stick figure people? What is this? And
what
that
happened
brings
with
us
that
to
fucking
where
show,
we are
man?
now and why I have gathered you all here together. At the beginning of every year, there are a series of award shows. The Golden Globes recently just took place. About a month from now is the BAFTA Awards, and they'll take place. And then a month after that, the Oscars. These people sure do like to pat themselves on the back. Ariana Grande specifically was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her performance as Glinda in Wicked for Good, so the second film, at the recent Golden Globes. When it comes to the Oscars, though, she nor Cynthia nor really anybody else were nominated for anything because they creeped everyone out. And if that isn't the funniest thing that I have heard this year, I don't know what is.
Man, we're weird, but you're a little bit too fucking weird.
Like a ciel bleu, you know, like aqua.
Wow,
and like,
I'm so moved by that.
It's been the pleasure.
Dude, she's on some LSD or something. There's no way.
It's been a pleasure spending time with you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.
It's probably worth noting that the first film, just called Wicked, had 10 Oscar nominations. This year, 0. All because these two could not act like normal human beings. It's really too bad that these ladies couldn't use AI to make their personalities more tolerable. But thanks to the sponsor of today's video, you can use AI to do all sorts of cool editing things. Thank you, Opus Clip. Sydney, I have realized I need to clone myself. Well, that sounds virtually impossible. Or I need extra hands. Also impossible. Or to multiply and transfer my consciousness. What?
I've thought about this too, man.
Are you trying to be a casualty in a sci-fi movie? What is happening here? There's just
editing is so tedious. As someone who does it, it's so annoying.
So much editing to do with the cutting and the sizing and the captions and the posting and the scheduling, and there's just one of me and not enough hours in the day. Oh, that's crazy.
And by the way, editors fucking hate doing this too. They do, and they hate this, especially shorts.
It's almost like there's an entire tool that you can use to do all that. There is?
No, I don't want to hire someone because I'm the only one that wants to how to do it. I know how to do it, and I want it done in a specific way, and I don't want to teach someone to do it.
Yes, it's called Opus
I don't give a fuck. It's not a call for like, oh, Google come edit. No.
For creators or people who are interested in making short form content. What? Stop making that face. I have quite literally used Opus Clip to post short videos on our Instagram account, which you'd be able to see if I turned the screen on. These videos, yeah, that's Opus Clip. All I did was drop a long-form video into Opus Clip, select the desired run length, and its AI software selected, cut, resized, and captioned the parts that it thought would perform best. I'm not kidding, Sydney, when I tell you this thing is amazing. There are so many features and things that it does for you, I can't even list them all.
I'm telling you, I edited my own TikToks and shorts, and the subtitling is the most grueling thing imaginable. If I could take away one thing from this, and people can be like, oh, I hate AI, I hate this, hire real people. Even editors don't want to fucking do subtitles. They are so bad.
You mean I don't need extra hands? Opus Clip has an inbuilt social media scheduler. Anything that you can use to procrastinate, it does for you because its software is that good. And I genuinely love it. No, seriously, dear viewer, I genuinely love Opus Clip, to the extent that when they first sponsored me, normally brands will give you a like a free trial. I went ahead and paid for it because I was like, I want to support you guys because this is awesome. This whole thing is awesome. Everything that Opus Clip does is awesome. And if this is something that you are interested in, if you need help with editing and captioning and clipping and whatever,
sucks. I will say, if I could stop doing that, that would be great. I hate putting in subtitles into stuff.
Videos, this is the program for you. So on that note, if you want to use genuinely one of the best pieces of software that I really have ever used in this industry, then click my link in the description. Because when you do, you will get 1 week of Opus Clip for free, which you will fall in love with this, I promise you, as well as getting 50% off their pro plan. According to News Nation, one Oscar voter told the reporter that the two have amazing on-screen chemistry, but spent most of the movie apart. This person then went on to add, and this is the funny part, I was also just completely turned off by their promotional performances. They creeped a lot of people out, and in their rush to feel authentic, it came off as cosplaying. Again, hilarious.
I just think people don't realize that they're probably just really, really high.
Because this is the exact same criticism that us normal people had for these people as well. They tried so hard to be whimsy and platonically in love, but it just came across as deeply uncomfortable and unsettling to watch. And I have wondered this whole time if all of them were on drugs.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes, absolutely.
This is also
I've seen people who like people who are on the side of the road, they're like act like this when they knock on your window and shit.
The internet has had an
I love
absolute
you.
field
You're so
day
awesome.
making skits and parodies and whatnot, mocking and making fun of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and all of this weird behavior.
Do you ladies need anything before we begin?
We just need to be here.
Oh, but you're already here.
No. We need to be here. Here.
What the fuck?
Here.
Kiss already.
Here.
Oh my god, girlfriend.
Stop! What did you do to her?
Holy honkers!
No! Stop it! Oh my god.
Dusty's got in my nosy.
Oh no. Stop it! Are you okay?
Yes, good job. Good
Dude,
job.
I love the nose ring and the makeup on them. They actually did the makeup to make their face shapes look more like the characters.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
The nose
This
ring is
article
killing me,
references
dude.
how viral moments from the second
so
press
good.
circuit basically just freaked out Oscar voters. Like when producer Mark Platt grabbed Ariana Grande's arm and shook it in excitement, only for Cynthia Erivo to swoop in, grab the arm, cradle it protectively, and then kiss Grande's hand. Or the pair trying to read each other's auras and describe the colors they saw.
If you had to describe each other's aura,
I'm telling you, this is what high people do. They talk about their auras and shit.
what color would it be?
That's a nice question. An aura.
Yellow.
For me?
Sunshine. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I see like a ciel blue.
Wow,
and
I'm so moved by that response.
So specific,
This
isn't
is
it?
so-
Sorry, it's very specific. And like,
Again, at least to me, this just screams, I am malnourished
Dude.
and on a lot of drugs, but what do I know? The News Nation
Dude, couples don't even act like this in high school, I feel like.
reporter who wrote this
This is
article
so
also
cringe.
references how a bunch of people in Hollywood also found Erivo's constant guardianship and overprotectiveness of Ariana Grande increasingly intense and bizarre. Earlier examples of this from 2024 showed Erivo fixing Grande's necklace mid-interview, or at the 2025 New York City premiere, Grande was seemingly overwhelmed by all the photographers on the red carpet. She raises her hands and basically asks them to go away, and you can see Erivo like off to the side, who's like looking really distressed on Ariana Grande's behalf. And I don't know if she rushed in after this, but it's like, what? Okay. In another situation, Grande decided not to do any press interviews in solidarity with Erivo, who lost her voice before this premiere. Ah yes, the old, if you can't do interviews, then neither shall I. Another Oscar voter reportedly said that the movie wasn't that great.
Dude, if I was the director, I would strangle them both. Like, you are pissing away all of my work, all because you guys need to LARP being these cringe, malnourished, like, just sad individuals.
And Arrivo and Grande sucked all the air out of any red carpet that they were on, and no one wanted to go through that again. They also apparently said, think of it this way, we were protecting Ariana from her anxiety and Cynthia from having to intervene. Again. It's genuinely so funny to me. I don't know, maybe it's because it's been a fairly depressing start to the year, but this really lit the little fires in my spirit. Yes. I think what makes this extra funny is how the voting and nominations for the Oscars actually works, which I had to go and look up in order to make this video. So basically, Oscars voters are made up of peers. So you have actors voting for other actors, and cinematographers voting for other cinematographers, and directors voting for other directors, and so on and so forth. So this means that the people who were very creeped out by these two and their behavior are their own peers, and probably a bunch of people that they work with directly, which is somehow just the icing on this hilarious cake. And it actually makes me wonder how many people in Hollywood, the actors and actresses, are secretly normal and would agree with the rest of us on a bunch of things. That aside, the decision—
not that many. They're ultra rich and they don't give a fuck about what your opinion is. Let's be real. However, the fact that they even thought it was creepy is so funny to me.
To not nominate our two nutbag friends actually resulted in a massive firestorm on social media. Are you surprised? Probably not. People have already been acting like the film Wicked for Good not being nominated at all is some huge deal as it is, but fans are absolutely convinced that this has nothing to do with the insane food-deprived behavior and lackluster performances that we've seen, and everything to do with racism and misogyny. Because when in doubt,
Chad, if I ever do something stupid, don't ever say like, oh, it's because of people that hate me because I'm a girl or something. You have to not fall into that trap, please. You're allowed to criticize someone for being a freak or a weirdo without like pulling out the racism or the sexism card or whatever.
Everything is racist. One woman on TikTok that I found wondered why people are treating Cynthia Erivo like a soul-sucking demon, suggesting that the negative opinions about her are just rooted in racism.
What? Please someone explain to me what's going on. What is this narrative of Cynthia?
K-pop stand, nose ring, tattoo in Japanese. Damn. It's like a trifecta.
Being some evil demon who sucked the energy and life out of Ari and caused her to have ED. I think they both were struggling on eating because the Wicked production was crazy. And it was a heavy production. They probably never had time to eat and they were so consumed by their own roles. And then why are we only coming after Cynthia? I don't want to say it's about race.
But it is.
But it seems to always be about race.
There it is.
Like, why are we demonizing her?
Which seems to be the most popular method of cope implemented by Erivo's diehard fans. Another fan argued that if Erivo was white, everyone would celebrate her for protecting her friend, but she's demonized specifically for being black. And I think that this comment is actually in reference to a video that also went viral, where we had a fan jumping out at and grabbing,
making excuses for criticism under the guise of hiding behind race or gender is just, I'm so fatigued. I hate it.
Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo stepped in and pushed that fan away, which, you know, I talked about this previously. I understand that. I don't think that's
okay,
an odd reaction at all. With that being said, there were also a bunch of people on Twitter who were mad that the Academy took into consideration things outside of the actress's performance, saying that this shouldn't be the case at all. Which really just indicates—
I just keep forgetting that normies care about this shit, and it kind of blows my mind. Why we are living in a world where even though the what is it called, the Grammys and the Oscars and the Academy Awards, people actually unironically give a shit about it.
The people watching these award shows have absolutely no conceivable idea or understanding of how they operate. Not only is the actor's performance in the film itself taken into consideration, but so too is the actor's reputation and how they are perceived by the audience and so on. So if you are acting creepy and weepy on not only the red carpet, but impressing
everywhere,
your fellow actors are probably going to see that and be like,
she's getting the fixing itch.
It also just comes down to the personal preference of the Academy members who are voting on all of this anyway. So if they think you're being a freak, they're probably not going to vote for you. Unless it's the kind of freaks that they like. I don't know. So it seems that Cynthia Erivo's peers were as weirded out about her overly affectionate and downright possessive behavior and interactions as the rest of us.
And the claws!
Also, just quietly, trying to attribute the lack of interest in Cynthia Erivo to racism and misogyny is extra funny when you're old enough to remember that Leonardo, I date almost minus DiCaprio,
oh, you're 25? All right, see ya. Send in the next one.
Has famously not been able to win an Oscar. Despite receiving multiple nominations for iconic films like The Aviator, Blood Diamond, The Wolf of Wall Street, and What's
He's a really
Eating
good
Gilbert
actor.
Grape,
I just hate his politics.
Films. And despite the insane success of these films, Leo continued.
He's the guy that people make jokes about and say like, oh, he talks about, you know, how the ice caps are melting and the polar bears are dying, but then he gets into his like third fucking like private jet and just flies around the world, and you're just sitting here like, oh, I get it. Yeah, he's a huge like political activist for like green policies and shit.
To not win. The dude didn't even get a nomination for his 1997 performance in Titanic, despite the film winning 11 Academy Awards the following year. I guess nobody wanted to be painted like one of his French girls. Yeah, this one's a bit of a travesty. Titanic is excellent. Unsurprisingly, fans were not impressed by any of this and actually felt extremely bad for Leonardo DiCaprio, and it started this whole poor Leo thing on social media. And when he finally did
all the money in the world, poor Leo,
get that big win, it was in 2016 when he took home Best Actor for his role in The Revenant, which I didn't even know was a movie and have never heard of, so go figure. It's also worth—
That's crazy, even I've heard of it.
Saying that there are plenty of genuinely super talented actors and actresses who have never won an Oscar, and actually one of the ones that I found out making this video is Tom Cruise. The guy, like, how is this possible? Apparently, the only time where Tom Cruise has even gotten close to having an Oscar is in 2025 when he was given an honorary Oscar for just being in the industry for so long. I had a really fun time writing this video, if you can't tell, because what even is Hollywood at this stage? Anyway, as far
Hollywood
as
is a joke, always has
standards
been,
go,
even
it's
in
just so
the
much
old days.
easier to decide that everybody is racist and misogynistic rather than accept that maybe your favorite actress is just not everybody's cup of tea. I think it's also very strange to basically say that everybody who watched the film is hateful when maybe the reality is that Wicked for Good just was not as good as the first Wicked film. One film critic that I found online, called Robbie Collin, gave the film just 1 star, calling it bloated and boring, and referred to Ariana Grande's performance as painfully wooden. It's also just not particularly surprising that a sequel didn't capture audiences in the same way as the first movie. In fact, this is sort of an accepted reality within Hollywood. The second movie is usually not nearly as good as the first one. You also have to consider the fact
there's very few films who do better than the original. Like if you do a sequence, like a trilogy, or even like just a sequel for one movie, it usually never comes close to it. It might come like a little bit closer, like 80% there, but it never eclipses it.
That the marketing around this was completely different. The first Wicked film was absolutely everywhere. It was inescapable. And it kind of seems like the second movie just wasn't pushed nearly as hard. And honestly, as far as PR goes, it's not—
Shrek 2? I still think Shrek 1 is the best one, but that's just me. I do love Shrek 2, but I think Shrek 1's the best one.
Looking so great when your lead actresses look as though they've been locked in a basement and starved during filming. Or like I mentioned in my last video about this, the actresses talk about filming like they survived Nam.
It was very painful. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I bet when you're not consuming calories, I bet it is very painful.
Because you know that you're performing, of course, you're acting, but your body doesn't quite know the difference, so that grief kind of comes home with you, and it was just kind of a very cloudy few days. And then
it's already like foggy.
Yeah, I was out of
body.
Out of body. And it is not super surprising to see how all of these things all together turned off a bunch of other actors and actresses who do in fact actually take their craft seriously. Is this story incredibly funny? Absolutely, yes it is. Is it also incredibly uncomfortable to watch two people act incredibly strange and malnourished and insane on red carpets and during press junkets? Also, absolutely. And am I terribly surprised that this is where all of this ended up? No, not really. And frankly, I'm quite surprised that it didn't happen
Hollywood,
the first
bro.
time as well. There's really not all that much to say here at the end other than I'm glad that it seems some other actors and actresses are perceiving the world the way that you and I are.
I do think that the lack of nutrition in their diet might have contributed to their delirium, because that's a very common thing to experience when you're not receiving protein and you start having hallucinations. That's the only thing that I could attribute this to, because I feel like Ariana Grande is already a little bit of a nutball, just like based on like when she was a kid and she did Nickelodeon and then she grew up and did a bunch of music stuff. Yeah, maybe like a little bit of drugs too. I think this was just like a multi-layered, like crazy pill thing.
Icked out and disgusted by the same things that make all of us collectively uncomfortable. And that when push comes to shove, they will in fact turn on the crazy people who are also in their midst, in the gentlest, quietest way humanly possible.
Oh,
basically,
sweetie.
taking them
Sweetie, just sniff the donut a little bit. You'll feel better. Just lick the donut a little bit.
Out of the nomination pool with their, weird clapping fests among themselves. In the end, I do hope this news brought you a little bit of a laugh, and if nothing else, this is totally to be expected, because I think that the period of time that we're in demonstrates people are just simply over watching weird capital people act insane in front of our very eyes. And as we go further into 2026, I am hoping that we see more of this kind of thing play out, but for the time being, at least I hope this brought you a laugh, because it definitely brought one for me. Now on that very happy and pleasant note,
man, I'm glad I'm not a normie chat, not gonna lie.
This is just a reminder, check out Opus Clip using the link in the description. I'm not joking when I say that I used this after they sponsored me to begin with, and I was like, this is an amazing program, what the hell? And then I went and bought it because I wanted to support them, and now I have forced all my friends to use it, as I do when I love a sponsor. So go and
use
check them out.
the AI clipper.
I promise you it's worth it. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this, where you think this is genuinely hilarious?
I feel bad for
you're
them,
not trying to
but
be mean-spirited
mostly because they're in pain, probably.
Really story. Do you think that this is in fact kind of crappy to do to these two women, and they did deserve some sort of recognition for Wicked for Good? Do you think that Cynthia Erivo is getting kind of an unfair rap here? Do you think that this is racism?
It's not fucking racism. It just reminds me of all the times games have flopped and it's like, oh, it's because the female protagonist is black, that's why everyone's bullying her. It's like, why don't you just blame the writers for not being able to write a great character? It's not about race, brother. It's not. I'm sure there's like a few minor people here and there. They're like, oh my god, I hate her because she's black. Of course there is. But the vast majority of your fans that are normies that don't get invested in political crap or political agenda, they're just like, this sucks. I'm just gonna watch something else.
That's a crazy accusation, and no, it's not. She's just a maybe psycho overbearing actress. What do you think of the criticisms of the movie generally? Are they fair? Are they unfair? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because
Sydney.
I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Like I always say, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices, and I hope none of your bloody pipes burst like they did for me, and I will see your wonderful little schmoodle poodle faces in the next video.
Very nice, very nice. Thanks, Sydney!